All right, so we're gonna make our own wild things. And we're going to make them nice and big because remember the wild things are really big. And what we're learning about today is going to be about texture. So the first thing we're going to have to do though is we're going to have to use some of the shapes we've learned about to make our wild thing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a nice big circle for our big wild thing head. So everybody go ahead and take their pencil, make a nice big wild head. And don't make it too wild, just make it a circle. And then we're going to make the belly. We're going to do that by making a big oval underneath. But I'm going to start at the head. I'm going to loop it around, kind of like a big U under the body, under the head. Everybody go ahead and do that now. And then we're going to make the arms. And you can have your arms waving around if you want. Or you can have your arms down if you want to the side. Nice big arms, almost touching the side of the paper. Go ahead and do that now. And then for the hands, we're just going to add circles on top of the hands. We'll get to the claws in a minute. For now, we're just going to add circles for those paws. And then we need some feet, and I'm going to have some big stomping feet. So I'm going to make this corner like that. And another corner like that, kind of like an N. And some feet. These are paws. We'll add some claws later. Maybe I want another foot coming out, stomping the other way. So I'm going to have like an N shape going the other way, and a big paw coming out this way. And now I've got my wild thing's body set up, so now I'm ready to add the details, like the fangs and the claws and the wild eyes. Let's start with the eyes. We're just going to add circles for the eyes, or ovals. And then we need to put circles inside of that. Let's go ahead and do that now. And then we have to have a nose, and I'm gonna make mine a triangle nose like this. There's lots of different noses that we can make. Let me show you some of the different kinds of noses that we can make on a different piece of paper here. So if I'm gonna make a few different heads here. So I can show you the different kinds of noses and mouths we can make. I'm gonna show you 3 different ones. So we've all got the eyes, which we've done. And let's see, we can have a triangle nose. We can have a circle nose. It's like a pig nose there. You can even put circles inside of it. And you can have like a hook nose here that hooks around like a beak, like that. So there's some different kinds of noses. So I've got my triangle nose that I decided to do. And then there's different kinds of mouths you can do. Let's see, you can do an oval mouth. You can do a frown mouth. You could do a happy mouth. Like that. Depending on what you want to do with your wild thing. So I'm going to do an oval mouth, I think. And then I'm going to add some terrible fangs to it. And to make some terrible fangs, all I have to do is just add some triangles inside. There's some terrible fangs. Or if I wanted some of my fangs to go down even lower, I could even have some fangs painting outside. Like, practically like vampire ones. Ah, it's so scary. And, of course, our wild things have big, giant claws. So you can have your wild things have big, giant claws by adding some triangles on top of the paws. And if it falls off the page like that did, that's okay. And if you want to put some claws down here, you can put some claws down here too. Show some big triangle claws. I'm going to put triangles going this way, all different ways. Awesome. So go ahead and add your extra details, and of course, we can't forget the top of the head. So you can have horns, triangle horns on your wild thing, or you can have wild hair, or you can have both, of course. Go ahead and add all of your extra details. And then when you're done adding your extra details, you're going to get a black marker and you're going to trace your wild thing. Very carefully trace over your pencil lines with a black marker. Now, when you've got it all traced like this, we're going to do a really fun part, and that is making the texture. To make the texture, we're going to use the crayons, and what we want is we want the little stubbies. We want the little naked stubbies, the ones with not any paper on them. So if you can find those at the bottom, they're usually at the bottom of crayon boxes. I found a couple here, way at the bottom, and sometimes you can only find stubbies, but they still have some paper on them. You can just peel that paper off, or you can come ask me to help you peel the paper off if you still can't get it. See, I can just peel that paper off. You don't want paper on your crayons for this part of the project. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use these texture plates. These texture plates are really cool because you can kind of see that they have a texture, and texture is for touching. Some of them have fancy designs on them, like this one and this one. And some of them look more like animal prints. I'm going to use the animal prints for my legs. And if I use it on one leg, I need to use it on the other leg. And what you do is you slip the texture plate under your paper where you want it. So it's under my leg, and I can feel that under the leg there. And then I get my crayon, and I want it to be a really little one. See how little that is? See how little that is? And I'm going to hold it so it's flat like this. I'm going to push down really hard on my paper so it doesn't move. And I'm going to do what's called a texture rubbing. And I did these cool scales. See how that looks like cool purple scales now? I did it on one leg, so then I'm going to move my texture plate over here, and I'm going to do it on this leg in front. And I hold my crayon on the side like this, and I move it side to side, holding my paper down really hard, creating that texture rubbing. Just like that. Now I'm going to use a different one. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to put it under my wild thing's belly. So this is what the belly is going to look like. And I feel I make sure the texture plate is under the belly, and I get a different color. And if I don't know what color it is, because it could be blue or purple or black, I just test on the back. Okay, it's going to be black. And let's see, I'm going to put it for you. And hold my paper down using the side. Go over it a couple of times.
And then when you are all done filling in your texture, you can be done, or if you have time, you can add a background.